Hello and good evening. Welcome to GT3 Season 3, Round 3 of the Simufur GT3 Championship. Actual race session goes live in about quarter of an hour, so we're going to join on the practice server where we'll see some cars. However, the majority of the racers will probably not turn up till the official practice session goes live.
Green light, go, go, go.
Having said that, we've got 35 people in the server already, so I mean, there's a lot of people here and ready to go. Hopefully we'll start seeing some custom liveries when it comes to the official server as well. Some of the cars looking a little bit plain at the moment. Looking a little bit plain at the moment, but that's all absolutely fine. Just focused mainly on Pingu here. This is also a chance for me to set up and get ready. Hi Pingu, welcome to the stream. On the practice server it seems that the liveries aren't showing up. I have a feeling they'll all show up for the race server. So that one works. Timetable. Works as well. Loads of new camera angles you're seeing tonight. So race server will go live in approximately 10 minutes. And we'll have about 10 minutes of practice, half an hour of qualifying, in which case we've mixed it up a little bit for qualifying now. So the silver racers will go out first for the first 10 minutes. The AM class will go out for the second 10 minutes, and the Pro class will go out last for the last 10 minutes. So it should be interesting to see. It used to be the Pros went out first, the Silvers went out next, and then the AM class went out. But for this race, we've decided to step it up a notch. See Pingu in the shot now, coming down from the corkscrew at Laguna Seca, California. As predicted, weather looks dry and optimum with a very hot track indeed. You've got 24 degrees Celsius with a track temperature itself of 33 degrees. As we can see, quite a lot of drivers turned up so far, but this is just for free practice, so a lot of them are putting a lap and then they're going to sit, and they'll be sitting and waiting for the timer to tick down. So welcome if you've just joined. Everything officially starts in about 10 minutes time, when the server will disappear and the race server will go live. We are at the moment having a look at camera angles. Everything appears to be working as normal. There's our timetable there. Due to note as well, actually, where you can see the little plus 20 kg signs on some of the cars, that is specifically the BMW M4 GT3. When it was first launched, it was a very overpowered car for what it was, and given that, the race directors and server admin decided that it would be functional, let's call it, to put a 20 kilogram weight ballast on the car just to slow it down a little bit, to stop it being overpowered. As you can see though, Plasma and Jesco in P2 and P3, it's not really hindered them much, so we'll see how they get on in the actual race session. Coming up for 5 minutes left of practice, so I suggest if you're not a racing driver watching this, which I highly think some of you are, get out there and practice. For those that are just here to watch, sit back, relax, get popcorn, get drinks, get any snacks you want, because this is going to be a wild one. We're halfway through the GT3 season already. It's been 3 weeks out of the 6, and so we'll go through the tables in just a second in terms of who's where. We'll do the top 3 from Pro Silver and AM class, just to give everybody an idea what's going on. Although for some of you that have been watching consecutively, or some of the drivers that have been watching and joining in with the series, we'll all know that currently at the moment Pingu is currently P1 for Pro class. Pingu's been doing exceptionally well all 3 rounds. So we'll see what he can do tonight at Laguna Seca. You can already see he's put in a 1:22.1 with Plasma on a 1:22.2. Interesting between the 2 Porsches of Lunatic and Fez. Very little time separates those 2. welcome to the stream. If you've just joined, feel free to ask questions, say hello. Don't say anything offensive. Right guys, it appears we've got everything working so far. The only thing I haven't got access to at the moment is flicking through the drivers, so we will be watching Pingu. And just whilst we wait for the server to go live, I'm going to take a minute myself and grab a drink, grab a snack. And we'll start going through track layout and whatnot in just a few moments. I'll be right back, guys. And we're back, guys, and it looks like we have the news that the server has indeed gone live. We'll be getting to that in just a few moments. So here we go then. So here's the
Green
chance.
light. Go, go, go.
And for some reason the liveries have not worked again, so I don't know what's going on with that. We may have to back out temporarily and get these liveries again reinstalled before we look at some proper racing. We've got 5 minutes left of free practice before we go into qualifying. Hopefully we'll be back before qualifying. Stay tuned. The screen is going to go blank for a few minutes and we turn into the Simufur GT3 Season 3 radio show as we re-download deliveries for Laguna Seca and all our drivers involved. Apologies for the unnecessary delay. In what we're doing. But nevertheless, we're going to try again, get these liveries reinstalled. Now, hopefully, we've got it working. If it's not working this time, it's not working. And there'll be nothing we can do to fix it either. So, keep your eyes peeled as we rejoin the server and hopefully catch the last few minutes of practice and then go into qualifying. Skip this, go into that, go into that. Looking for the Simufur servers. There it is. And we join. Now it may if the liveries have worked correctly, it may temporarily freeze for us. That is very much to be expected. Oof, or it freezes completely and nothing happens at all. Welcome to the stream if you've just joined. We are currently waiting for the session to load. Whoop, there we go. Suddenly it's loaded. And it seems like we've got much more colourful cars on the track now. There's a few there that we do need to check that are working. That's one. That's two. Heiko's a new racing driver. We've got, there we go, that's three. As your goat in the Ridge Racer themed Mercedes, that is four. It seems that we are good to go for the Simufur GT3 Season 3, and not a minute too soon. Minute and a half left of practice, everyone. Minute and a half left of practice. Oh, sudden freeze, and we're back. Cool beans, so we've got everything working on this side. Everything working on this side, it's just getting the technical bits up and working now. So here we go then into qualifying. We've not got the technical tools that we wanted to see, but so first out is the silver drivers. We'll hopefully get to looking at them in just a few minutes. Okay, so we're back to ye old faithful ways of doing this then. We don't have the tools that I thought we were going to have in play, so we'll just have to manually try and find our way to the cars that are out on the track. No, that doesn't seem to be working either. So Alright, so what we're going to do then is we're going to sit with the timetable up, because following the drivers has not worked, and the broadcasting tool seems to not be working either. So for the next half an hour we're going to sit and watch the timetables. You can see the overall at the moment, although we're going to switch to the silver because it is only the silver class that are out for the first 10 minutes. And you can see most of them have already done one lap, so that will be classed as an out lap. And it appears that one of the other classes left the pits before they were supposed to, so we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with that. Oof! And immediately we have a car disconnected. Sorry, not disconnected. We have a car disqualified from the race this evening. Then there we have Dip going in with a 125.2. Who was that was immediately disqualified? Car number 41. Ferrite in the Lexus. He will not be taking part in qualifying then, it seems. So far for the silver class, Dipping Sauce is currently the one to watch. We've got Newbie Kings, Deeds, Tony Keto, Jamie and Sebring Enthusiast, otherwise known as BBN8, or Nate as we'll call him. Yet to see some times coming in from them. You can see Jamie in the background at the moment in the number 303 Bentley Continental. It turns out that Ferre has been disqualified from qualifying, but has not been disqualified from the race. So they will start at the back of the grid after everyone else has been out. Still yet to see some times come up for the other 5 drivers, 6 drivers. 5 drivers even in silver class. The only one to put in a time so far is Dip in the number 38 Jaguar, the only Jaguar in the Simufur GT3 series. We can't see him at the moment because unfortunately I've not been able to get the broadcaster working, so we can't select him. So we're going to sit and watch at the moment. I'll tell you what, we'll come back and check the timetables in a minute. We're going to go to drive. We're focused in on Azure at the moment, so we'll hopefully see some people on the track. Though with 40 cars to scroll through, we might be the whole 5 minutes before we get to see a car on the track. So there's Jamie, who we saw in the Bentley Continental. Oh, just bear with it, folks. Just bear with it, folks. Oh, ha ha ha! We've got Nate in the popular made Simufur McLaren livery. There's only 3 of these liveries on the track tonight. Got apparently yellow flags in the pit lane, but I'm not sure what's happening there. But anyway, Nate goes through with a 125.192 then. No, that's not the button we want to push here. No, that's not the button you want to push either. There's... Oh. There it is. So, from the table there. So we've still got Newbie Kings, who does a 124.2 now actually. Nate goes into 2nd place and has come into the pits. He's on a 125.1. Very close to him is Dip in the Jaguar on a 125.2. And in fourth is Tony Quito on a 125.5. You've then got Deeds and Jamie with a 126 and a 127 respectively. I believe Nate's just come in there to possibly change his tyres or get some more fuel. Hi Charter, shouldn't you be concentrating on your race? All these furry racing drivers watching my stream when really they want to be watching the track ahead of them. Welcome to the stream, guys. See Nate there coming very close to the pit lane. I'm just going to bring up the track map here. Give it a minute. So what we can see then, blip number 38 has actually gone past turn 1, which makes the hairpin on this track turn number 2. And the corner just ahead of number 38, car number 3. The pit lane covers corner number 1 and 2. And it's a specific road that follows a very specific path down and round to bring them out just before turn 3 starts. Now the rules tonight, there's not a slow zone in qualifying, but the rules tonight for the whole practice, qualifying and race session dictate here that if at any point you go over the green line for the pit exit, excuse me, it is an automatic 30-second post-race penalty. So that's going to make it interesting for some of the drivers because you really have to think about it coming down the pit lane. I'll quickly get on board with Nate and then hop off with Nate and I'll show you what I mean. So here we have, it's a bit of a long one, it goes up quite a steep hill and down a steep hill. So here we have the pit lane. So obviously drivers come out the pit lane exit, but this part here, this bit that the green covers, is your pit lane exit. So if a driver at any point goes over these white lines, or comes down here, and crosses this grass at all, anywhere, and pushes back onto the track at any point during any of the sessions tonight, is an automatic 30-second penalty. But as you can see, it rejoins literally at the start of turn 3. It's a very slow corner, turn number 2, the hairpin. You can see Newbie Kings going through it now. We're just going to go back to the garage and do the timetables again. So at the moment, there's 8 seconds left before the AM class come out. Newbie Kings is leading with a 124.2. Tony Quito will be in at number 2 with a 124.5, with Nate in P3 at a 125.1. They're very close between the top 3 silver drivers, and now the AM class gets ready to come out the pits. Newbie, Nate, Dip and Deeds are still currently out on a lap. They are allowed to finish their lap. And here we go then. So we've got 18 AM drivers tonight. They all come shooting out the pits, you can see below me. Apart from number 39 Farright, who's disqualified from this session for going out at the wrong time. Got one more driver yet to leave the pits for the AM class then. There you go, they're going a bit of a snake around the track. It's important that they give themselves a bit of time, a bit of a gap between one another, so that they can get the most out of their 10 minutes on track. But currently leading, currently leading the AMs round the track is car number 76. No, it isn't. It's car number 76, but it looks like car number 25, so I don't know what's going on. Cars are going round the track in setting times, guys. Everybody's nearly completed an out lap. You can see here we've got Toaster, who's completed his out lap, Wing, Blaze, Heiko brand new tonight to the GT3 season. Grand total of 42 cars have turned up tonight. It's a great entry for Laguna Seca, halfway through the GT3 season. So a few of these will turn to 2 laps, and that's when we'll start seeing lap times come in, unless some of the drivers invalidate. Fantastic, we've come back on board with Nate. Let's go through all the relative drivers again until we get to Tiku in the BMW M4, car number 65, currently on an invalidated lap at the moment. Apparently a yellow flag on track, but that's in the pit lane, so I don't know what it's doing there. Maybe someone's rolled forward a little bit. So here we go then, Tiku starts a flying lap. Good evening and welcome. Back by popular demand, maybe. Current AM winner of the 6 hours of Imola, it's Charter in the number 24 Audi. See a fantastic picture of the shark on the side of their car. They'll be looking to see what they can do in AM class tonight. See who else is out on track. We've got Stormy in the number 69 Ferrari. Their current time, so they've not put in a fast lap yet. They've just finished an out lap. Skylar back for another round in the number 660 Honda, going through the corkscrew corner there, and sadly invalidates the lap. As you can see there, the track limits were a little bit all over the place. There we got Wing in the number 76 Bentley Continental GT. Current fastest time is a 1:26.8. You can see Tiku getting out of the way of number 76 there to let him through, as he is on a valid lap. May have to move again though for what looks like Toaster, who's coming through, or Proteus as he's known, the number 3 Ferrari. Current fastest lap is a 1:29.4. Oh, sorry, a 1:26.2, excuse me. Back to the timetables and view this, but currently in number 1 in the BMW M4 with a 1:25.1 is Sylphane, or Sil. She's doing incredibly well, even though the BMW has been weighed down by 20 kilograms. We've also got Panhiride, Sarah, or Queen of Quebec, and TQ in the BMW M4. But it will be Valmathor and Heiko that take P1 and 2 now of AM class with a 1:24.1 and a 1:24.7. Sylphane still there with a 1:25.1. Hopefully she can do a lot better. Hopefully it will let us stay with Toaster. It does let us stay with Toaster. AM class have 3 minutes left to qualify currently. New to the grid tonight as well is Blaze Pine, getting it in a bit of a mix-up there with some of the cars. His current fastest lap is a 1:26.075. He's followed by Heiko down the corkscrew corner. Oh, there's a bit of a lag issue there. Excuse me, guys. Hopefully that hasn't affected Heiko too much. Heiko having to run a little bit wider there into the corner. Tiku currently holds P23 with a 1:31.8. Got Valmathor currently in P1. Certainly P1 for the AM class on a 1:24.1. Mr. Obnoxious or Cushman has been with us for every race so far in the 118 Bentley. Oh, a little bit slidey coming out that corner, but he does hold on to it. He's decided to give up on that one. Zizi, number 18 Porsche, she's been with us for every race so far in the GT3 season. His current best is a 1:26.2. Cerulean, I believe, is fairly new to the grids, and the number 94 McLaren. Their best lap is a 1:27.7. And here he is. He was leading M class, but in the 107 BMW, it's Sylphane, or Sil, as we're going to call her from now on. Seems like someone just crashed there. I believe that might have been ZZ. Oh, and Sil seems to have lost it as well. Hopefully she can redeem herself out on track. Nope, she comes back to the pits for now. There is only 47 seconds left. Next up, relatively new to the grid, it's Otto in the blue and pink Mercedes-Benz. .30 seconds left to go, so time will finish whilst they are on a fast lap, but they are allowed to complete that fast lap. Let's go on board with Otto, see what he can do in the number 40 Mercedes. Quite steep hills coming in on this track then, so doing well so far. The relative is still green for him, so he could still push up a position. It's important to note. Oh, here we go through corkscrew. Very good through the corkscrew. It's important to note now that the Pro class have now been released onto the grid. So as Otto finishes his lap, he will need to pull over and immediately return to pits. Oh, a little bit too wide there, but he manages to catch the car. Makes some time up coming out the last corner then. He's coming up to the start-finish line. And sadly, he's not improved his time, but a very good lap indeed. So here we go for the AM class. P1 will be Valmathor, P2 will be Heiko, and P3 will be Blaze. And Otto holds on to P4 there after that. Very good lap indeed. Silver class, P1 is Newbie Kings, P2 is Tony, P3 is Nate. And now the Pro class have come out onto the pits then. We've got Azure, Danny, Saber, Lunatic, Wusho, Taichi, Joker, Josiah, Menos, Dolby, Snooty, Oblivion, Plasma, Pingu, Spirit, Fez, Digital, and Tricky, all trying for pole position tonight. Gonna try and get on board with some of these pro drivers. Oh, there we go. The first livery I want to come across tonight, actually, because we've spent so long trying to get it uploaded. is car number 621 by Spirit. Now last week when you tuned in at Snetterton, you would have seen just a blank white car with a UV map around it. Well, here we can now see their design has been absolutely implemented to Simstrata, and now has uploaded successfully onto the server. You can see here very beautiful purple and blue livery. It's I'm told it's in the sort of design of a galaxy in space. So there we go. That is Spirit in car number 621, the GTR. And here we go, of course, in the number 8 Porsche. It's Lunatic. You can tell this one with a little green cat, little green on it, and cat on the side of it. He is currently in the Porsche. Thai Cheese in the Bentley Continental GT. Nice black and red Bentley Continental GT today. Could swear it was blue. Next up we have the second of the Simufur liveries, created by the Simufur owner Fez Fox. It's Menos. Car number 139 being followed very closely by Jesco in the 777. They both come down the corkscrew together. Quite a, not much of a gap between these two, so hopefully they'll be okay. Here he is, Oblivion, or Jesco, new to the track. And not new to the track, excuse me, new to the season. Currently currently pro champion. Car number 22, it's Distinct Pingu. We know we've got a lot of supporters out there. Can we hear Pingu's supporters? Where are his supporters? The number 22 Bentley Continental roars up to turn 2. Currently Pingu on a 122.9 P1 over the entire 42 cars that have attended tonight. He's currently chasing Menos, but there is a nice sufficient gap between them. It's not going to stop Pingu from putting in the absolute fastest lap he can. Look at the Bentley, look at it. Absolutely stick like glue to the track as Pingu pushes it as fast as he can through the next couple of corners. Next up, new to the GT3 season. I don't know if we saw them in Snetterton or not, but it's Dolby, car number 85. Car number 85, another Audi on the track then with a nice matte black and pink Audi. They've done their own little livery creation as well. It's quite nice to see everybody that's put the time and effort into doing these. Here's the sister Porsche of Lunatic. It's Lunatic's partner, number 969 Wushel. Wushel has never missed a race for the GT3 season. She's currently on a 124.8. We'll take a look at the updated times in a minute. Oh. Number 4, Digital Friends in the another BMW M4 then. Very nice design on the BMW. Next up, nope. Next up we've got Studio McFluid in the Lamborghini. A lot of time and effort have gone into this Lamborghini. That's car number 48, Studio McFluid, currently holding P11 on the grid. There's 3 minutes left of qualifying. We're going to take a look at the timetable in a minute. Absolutely brand new tonight is Joker in the number 62 Honda. Currently in P4. Josiah Whiskey in the number 61 Mercedes-Benz. Looks a lot like Azure's Mercedes, so we're going to have to keep a close eye out. Speak of the devil, Car number 765, it's Azure Goat with the Ridge Racer type livery. And a nice shout out to Beyond Reflections, a local charity set up to support and counsel transgender folk if they're having any troubles. That's the way I understand it. So hello Beyond Reflections, if you ever see this video, as you're still flying the flag. Currently sits on a 124.2. Danny then in the Aston Martin V8. Very nice simple livery from Danny. Car number 44. 44 also used by a very, very famous racing driver, if you know your stuff. Plasma Radar in the well-used, backed by popular demand, Jägermeister BMW. Very vibrant purple livery it is as well. And I believe that's his past and been through all the pro class cars. Actually, we're missing one. We are missing one. His current P1 holder, the owner of Simufur, it's Fez Fox with his own very nicely made Porsche livery with the Simufur logo all the way through it. He comes down just past turn 1 there. It's almost, you almost couldn't call it a turn, but anyway, here we go through the hairpin. Excuse me a minute. I'll tell you what we'll do, since there's a minute left, we're going to check out the timetables. So currently it's Fez Fox in P1 with a 122.3. Pingu in the Bentley Continental is on 122.8. And in P3 is Plasma with a 123.060. Currently a little bit further down the grid, you've got an AM class who's mixed in with all the pros tonight. It's Valmathor with a 124.1. Currently out on a lap is Saber Kitson. We've not seen them yet, but they've currently set the fastest P1. They've currently set the fastest sector 1 all the time tonight. We'll see if they can get the fastest lap overall. So 3 seconds left to qualifying then. At the moment, it looks like it's going to be as is. Oh, Pingu is still on a lap. Nope, he has decided to pull over. Fez Fox still seems to be on a lap, the number 86 Porsche there. A lot of the drivers have decided to stop. Still got Menos and Digital out on track. Saber Kitsune currently sits in P7. Jesco in the BMW is currently in P4. Here he goes over the start-finish straight. Is he going to push any higher? And no, he doesn't. He sticks to P4, so P1 tonight will be Fez Fox, P2 will be Pingu, P3 will be Plasma Radar. And there you go, folks. That is your qualifying session. Bit of a mix-up again between the pros, AMs and silvers coming out of the top 10. Your top 10 tonight is Fez Fox, Pingu, Plasma, Jesco, Luna, or Lunatic, excuse me, Tai Chi, Saber Kitsune, Joker, Spirit, and Danny. Top 10 then, folks. Thank you for the subscription, Rene. That's really kind of you. So a couple of minutes to go then, before we line up for the 1 hour race that is the Season 3 halfway mark. Certainly in for an exciting one. 42 cars have decided to attend tonight. It's almost as big as Hungaroring was. Round 1, if you remember a few weeks ago, we celebrated Simufur's largest turnout of racing drivers. Since round 1 all the way through to round 3, it's still been a pretty consistent number of drivers. A lot of the newer drivers as well, very much sticking with it. So we will jump to the grid momentarily. No, that's definitely not the driver selected, but there we go. I'll tell you what, I don't know what order it does these drivers in, but FezFox is P1. We're going to start on FezFox and watch FezFox for the start of the race. So here we go then. Drivers get 3 minutes. Drivers get 3 minutes to set up the cars. So here we go then. Here are your grid. We've got FezFox car number 86, Pingu number 22. Car number 12 is Plasma, 777 then is Jesco. Number 8 is Lunatic. Number 32 is Tai Chi. Saber Kitsune in the 523 GTR there. We didn't actually see them through qualifying. That's because we couldn't find them, but there we go. Number 62 is Joker in the Honda. I forget what kind of Honda, but it's a Honda because you can tell from the Honda badge. Spirit in the absolutely beautiful 621 GTR tonight. I'm extremely glad we got this one working. I really am. Number 44 is Danny in the Aston Martin. Number 61. Damn, I've forgotten. Number 61 we'll get back to. I'm so sorry, we'll get back to. Number 48 is Snooty McFlude in the Lamborghini. Number 139 there is Menos in the Simufur created green and black car. McLaren, what is going on? Number 74 is a Nissan GTR. I don't know who that is either. Number 765 is Azure Go in the Mercedes-Benz. 17 is Newbie Kings in another Mercedes-Benz. Number 4 is indeed a BMW M4. Number 969 is the very glamorous pink and white Porsche by Wushel. Number 30 is another BMW M4. It looks like Tricky. It is Tricky. Brand new created today, so that's Tricky. Number 14 is Tony Keto in the Aston Martin. Number 85 is Dolby in the Audi. We'll get there. We'll get there.
30 seconds.
Oh dear, we have another Ferrari. I forget who half these people are. We've got Blaze in the number 37 Ferrari.
20 seconds.
Nate in the 131 McLaren, also in the number 40 Mercedes. Number 148 is
10
Paula
seconds.
Brady. Paula Brady in the Audi. Number 107 is Sylphane, she's in the BMW M4. Number 38, the one and only Jaguar on track today. We're due to go shortly for the parade lap. Number 24 is Charter. Number 3, I can't remember. So anyway, here we go then. We're on a parade lap for... We're on a parade lap. So Fez Fox will start in P1, Pingu will be P2, and Plasma will be P3. Jesco following closely behind in P4. Cars use this whole lap to warm up their tyres. That's the number 61 Mercedes Chazaya. Sorry, Chazaya. Skylar number 660 in the Honda. I've not seen much of tonight because we couldn't find her whilst having to scroll through all 42 cars before we find the right one. She's in P34. Most of the cars you can see there coming onto the corkscrew. We're gonna... Oh, please. Of course, we're going to do what we always do at Simufur for this commentary. We're going to wait. Well, we're going to wait at turn 2. So you can see on the little mini map to the right there, the cars around in the final corner onto the start-finish straight. We're moments away from lights out for round 3 of the Simufur GT3 season. The flag is coming up, and away we go then. It is lights out, and away we go for the Simufur GT3 Season 3, Round 3. And the cars come shooting round 1, turn 1 to turn 2. Fez and Pingu very close together, Plasma very close as well. All the cars getting relatively safely through turn 2 onto turn 3. It's been very healthy so far. A couple taking it cautiously, you can see then, but nevertheless, Fez Fox is the one that gets away cleanly, with Pingu and Plasma following behind. So there we go then, P1, 2 and 3 still very much together coming through the corkscrew. They manage it somewhat. We're going to go further back to the grid and see a couple of these cars come through. They have managed it successfully. Here they go then, they're all relatively bunched up still. Oh, Stormy got it a little bit wrong, but he's saved it. And there's been a crash. And it's Sylphane and Charter have come together. Snooty McFluid has to avoid the incident somehow. Charter gets back onto the track successfully. In time for Cerulean to come through there. There must have been an accident further up. But nevertheless, we can see then it's Fez Fox in P1. Pingu goes round the outside in attempt at P1, but doesn't quite get it. We've still got a yellow flag somewhere on the track. Nope, it's gone green again. Top three drivers staying very close to one another indeed. Plasma, Pingu and Fez Fox getting away quite cleanly. Plasma managing to hold on to the gap. Fez Fox will be wondering what to do tonight in the Porsche, as the Bentley Continental has all the straight line speed in the world. They come again through Corkscrew, managing to make it through relatively safely. It seems like Fez Fox will hold the lead for now, but there's a long straight section coming up. Can Pingu hold on to Fez Fox on the way up to the start finish straight of lap 2? Lap 3, excuse me. It turns out at the moment you can't. Still a sufficient gap between the two of them, so the Porsche working wonders for Fez Fox, but Pingu does manage to close the gap. Little mistake there on the inside of turn 2. If anything, that will help Fez Fox. Coming slightly to the back of the grid, further back, we've got Tai Chi on Jesco. The weighed down 20 kilogram ballast BMW M4 holding off the red and black Bentley Continental of Tai Chi. Lunatic is very, very close behind, along with Joker in the number 62 Honda. Then we have Danny in the Aston Martin. Spirit is holding off Desire in the number 61 Mercedes-Benz and making time up potentially on Danny. There we go, the Bushel and P11 being chased by Menos. Come through the Corkscrew. Quite a lot of drivers coming through the Corkscrew together. Relatively safely this time. We've got Blaze and Nate there. They all make it through together. Here's another little pack. Oh, some of them have got that a little bit wrong there, but they managed to make it through relatively safely. And it looks like Heiko got the better position on Otto there. The drivers, who's that? That's Snooty McFlude coming into the pits then. Looks like it's been a little bit scuffed. Hopefully he'll come back out shortly. ZZ, number 35. Number 37 is Skylar. They're in a relatively close race together. They've got Deeds following them in the 757 Lexus. There must have been an incident back here earlier. Positions have changed around a bit. So there he is then. Senior McFlude pulled over in the pit lane for hopefully nothing too much. Maybe it was fuel, maybe it was tyres, maybe it was slight repairs. I'm not sure what happened to him. Can't really see much of what's going on here. But anyway, back at the front, Pingu has closed the gap then to Fez Fox by a little bit more, but the Porsche is still holding on. Seems like they've both created a gap to Plasma in P3. So all Plasma needs to do is just hold on to that P3. We've still got pit stops to come up relatively halfway through the race, but it's up to the drivers when they take the pits. We've got Joker coming in from P10 then into the pit lane. Tell you what we're going to do, we're going to let Fez Fox go at Corkscrew. Here we go then, watching a stream of cars come through Corkscrew. There's Tai Chi. Lunatic holding off Danny really well there. Who's next? That looks like it's Josiah. So next up through there should be Wusho, that's it, followed by Studio McFluid and Menos. Oh, Spirit's got a little bit wide, but he manages to rejoin the track. Blaze gets the position back off him. A couple of people going a little bit interestingly through Corkscrew there. Bit of a real battle going on at the back here. Two cars going side by side. There's ZZ in the number 18 Porsche. There's Skylar in the 660 Honda. Oh, there's Pan Code in the BMW. And there is Paula going through in the Audi. Apologies if I don't announce these drivers by name. Oh, sorry, that's Pan Code. Excuse me. Oh, two cars coming almost together. That's Joker and Cerulean then. Right, I believe that. Oh no, wait, no, we're not quite done there yet, folks. Oh no, there we go, it's P1. We've been sat here for a whole lap. There's Sarah who's had to move over for blue flags. I can't believe it's been a whole lap already. We literally only let them go a minute ago. There was a bit of a yellow flag down here somewhere, but it seems like the problem may have cleared. Cerulean is having to move over for traffic then. Ducking and weaving a bit. People getting very safely past him. There's Danny there in the Aston Martin. Number 44. That'll be Josiah. And then that'll be Azure Goat there, as I said. Oh, here we go. One and only Jaguar on the track doing very well. Very well indeed. Currently P20. There's Blaze, who's ahead, who leads Saber and someone else. So here we go then. Fezfolk still leading in P1. They come through the Corkscrew, him and Pingu. Fezfolk still doing very much to hold on to the leads, then working very well indeed for him. But at the same time, Pingu is not letting him go. They're going to end up coming to back markers already then. That will be probably Toaster and Heiko. Like we've got a bit of a battle going on between Joker and Pan. At the same time we've got Fez and Pingu getting very close to each other. We've got Joker and Pan then. So here we go, the Honda on the BMW. Number 62, Joker's first race for the Season 3 League tonight. He goes for a move around the outside of the BMW. He makes it stick. And look at that, very smoothly past Pan indeed. Very good overtake indeed. Paul is just out ahead of these two then. Some cars who we've not managed to see yet. There we go, there's Fez Fox. Pan taking a bit of a battering on the BMW then. It must have been involved in an incident earlier in the race. As we can see there, Joker has very much managed to get by. Got Stormy coming into the pits along with Tai Chi then. There must have been a bit of an accident. Very much an accident. You can see the back of Stormy's Ferrari there, very much scuffed up. Oh, we've got a yellow flag on track. It's Cushman. Oh, what a whack he has taken. You can see the front of the hood of the Bentley Continental there is open. He's having to pull over and wait for a sufficient gap to turn the car around. Bentley Continental is a massive car, so you pull that thing out in front of traffic, you're pretty much done for. Wondering if he... oh, nope, he has teleported to the pits. wondering then if he'll take the repairs on. Anyway, we come back to Toaster, who's chasing Heiko there. Newbie Kings is also in the pits as well. Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear. Something major's happened there. Sail was lost out, Toaster's lost out. Now these two cars still moving. It seems that Sail's going to look at getting back on the track, hopefully somewhat soon. There we go. What's going to happen to Toaster? He is back out on track. He's got... We'll have Paula catching him up for overtaking now. God blimey, that was a definite scuff between. That must have been an accident between Sylvain and Toaster then. So that is for position. So Paula, in the not so damaged Audi, is now chasing a very damaged Ferrari ahead of her, so it's only going to be a matter of time before she manages to make the overtake. She's also had a hell of a beating. They're all gonna have to move over in a minute as Fezfox and Pingu comes shooting through along with Plasma in P3. Seems like Toaster's managed to speed up and get away quickly then. So here we have P1 and 2 then. It's still Fezfox leading Pingu as they come into corkscrew together. Both of them are going to have traffic to deal with, it seems. 3 cars going through together. It's Joker and Paula. They're going to have to move in a minute for Plasma though, as he still very much holds on to P3. Joker going for a move on the inside of Paula. He skips the corner. Oh my, he did not make that one happen. And he is spun off and holds his brakes. Meanwhile, Paula moves over to let Plasma through. Maybe? There is a blue flag waving for her and Plasma does get through there. Further down the track then we've got Lunatic, who's got people ahead of him and almost no one behind him. He's very much in his own race. A few cars coming out the grid then, so we've got Sylvain who's stopped for repairs. He joins behind Stormy. For some reason it's not letting me focus in on a few other cars I want to see, but here we've got Tony chasing Nate for P14. Saber Kitsune very much behind them. Definitely something happened with Spirit then. He was quite high up. I'm not sure what happened between him. There is a yellow flag somewhere that shortly went green, but couldn't honestly tell you where, because unless we push a million buttons a million times, we're not going to see it. So there we go then. you've got your track map there. We'll potentially see any yellow flags, but it doesn't mean we can flick to them quickly. Oh, car number 40 stopped on track. That's also in the Mercedes. Quite a few cars thinking about now for coming into the pits. Oh dear, Nate goes a little bit wide there. You know what, that one doesn't do it any justice. We're going to stick with this one. A blue flag's being waved for Tony. He must get out of the way of Spirit. Nope, that's not right actually. Tony's in P12, Spirit's in P35. So there's actually no obligation for Tony to move out the way of Spirit. Having said that, you could almost have a gentleman's agreement between these two that the faster car does get through and unlap himself. But that is completely the call of the car leading, which is Tony. You've got Nate in number 131 in P13 and Dip in the only Jaguar on the track in P14. So there we go, we've got Sarah in car number 420, currently in P41. P42 will now be Cushman, who's not made it back out the pits. I'd like to point out here that Sarah made every point of helping me delete the old custom livery. She shoots off the corkscrew. What happened there? Where has she gone? She's very much pulled over off the corkscrew to let the drivers by, but at the same time, she could have taken the corkscrew and the other drivers would have had to wait. It's all about safety as well as being kind. Anyway, Sarah in the 420 BMW there has decided to pull off into the pits. And that is to serve, I didn't see it there, that is to serve her stop go 30. She's followed into the pits by Blaze, who's probably coming in for tyres at the moment. That will mean Skylar gets a position. Quite a few of the cars pulling up into the pits. Then we've got Blaze, Sarah, number 420. Digital Friends leaves the pits. So 40 minutes left of the race. A lot of cars completing their mandatory pit stops already. There you can see the cars really slowing down to make sure that they don't cut any corners. We've got a yellow flag up ahead. Who was that? That was easy in the number 18 Porsche. Seemed to have lost it on the corner there. He moves over to let Danny by before carrying on. 3 seconds off him is Joker, being followed by Newbie Kings as well. So they're in their own little race. It's very much going to involve ZZ in a minute if he doesn't get up to speed quickly. All three drivers heading up towards the dreaded corkscrew then. It'll be ZZ that goes through first. Look at the damage to the back of his car. And all three cars have now gone through the corkscrew together. Joker and Newbie Kings look to go around the outside of ZZ. Joker makes it through. ZZ makes it through. And Newbie Kings makes it through. All relatively safe. I wonder when or if. There we go. So ZZ is probably going to come in and pit for repairs then. Azure Goat holding on to P8 then, still a top 10. He's chasing Josiah. The two very similar Mercedes-Benz racing one another now. The only telling difference between these two is, if you look at it simply, Azure's Mercedes has a blue and white stripe going down the middle of it, whereas Josiah's doesn't. So Josiah currently holding, what is it, 7 or 8? The game will decide in a minute what he's currently holding. Okay, so Josiah's in P7, Azur's in P8, and that means Wushel in the Porsche holds P6 then in the 969. They've all completed their pit stops already. A few cars then pitting now. Not quite at the halfway point of the race yet, still 7 minutes off it, but a lot of the cars will be doing it to think tactically. Seems that Sarah's pulled over for longer than the necessary time required. Here comes Wushel then, round turn 2, being followed by the two Mercedes-Benz, managing to hold them off very nicely in the Porsche number 969. And it seems that Jamie has gone into the pits and managed to get himself a stop go. He's not the only one, it seems. But Jamie's got a stop go, and Plasma in P3 has got a stop go as well. So here comes Sarah. She does make it back out of the pits then. She moves to let Jamie through. She's going to have to move to let everyone else behind her through as well, but Plasma has dropped from P3. Bit of a wider line than usual then. She's choosing to go 2x2 through the corner with the car. She is aware that she's got to get out the way of everyone coming through. She's got a wing there. Got Charter following behind, doing very well. Charter has moved up to P16. They managed to get by Sarah before they all go through the corkscrew. Safely through the corkscrew. Now Sarah can look at moving over again to let P17 through, who's Dolby. And we still have Fezfox in P1 and Pingu in P2 then. They've not given up yet. They've also both pitted as well, so it is a race to the end. What happened to Charter? What? Where's... There we go, we've got Dolby coming into the pits. Jamie's serving his stop goal penalty, Wings in the pits. Mr. Obnoxious hasn't moved. Skylar's also pitted, she's in P17. Great job so far from her. Plasma serving his stop go as well, oh dear. Hold on a minute. Oh, and that's a shame. We appear to have lost Charter. We appear to have lost Charter from the grid. Sadly, it's been a disconnect. Cindy McFlood there, he's being chased by Wushel. We'll have to move in a bit. Seems that Wushel's being followed very closely by Josiah. There's Sylvain in the number 107 BMW, still holding P36 out of 41, still a respectable position to have. It looks like she's taking it a little bit more cautiously now, though. Heiko pits from P23 then to serve his mandatory pit stop. There's quite a few people that haven't done the mandatory pit stop yet, but it's completely up to their choice. There's no pit window tonight. That's an absolute shame, Charter. I'm sorry to hear it. You're doing very well until that point. Bit of a train of cars coming through here. Then we've got Valmathor in the GTR. You'll have to move over for the other GTR. Both of them getting very close to one another coming through Corkscrew. So Valmathor comes into pit then. It's mandatory tyres only. Meanwhile, P20, 25, 26 and 27 can continue to have a race. Spirit absolutely shoots past Plasma then. Here they come past T1 down into T2. I wonder what happened there. I wonder how Spirit got past Plasma so easily. Just behind them you've got Heiko, who'll be looking to chase. Jamie is a lap down on him. Someone who we've not seen through the race is Menos, who's being chased by Nate currently. These two drivers, both racing the McLaren, both yet to pit. And are both using Simufur created liveries. You can see the big green Simufur sign there on Menos's. Car number 74 gets a stop-go, gets a 30-second stop-go penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Oh dear.
We are halfway through. Keep pushing.
It's been a long 7 minutes, but we're now officially there. I don't know what happened there, but it seems that Skylar has been disqualified from the race. That's very interesting indeed. There was no message to pop up that said she was disqualified, I don't think. It's a shame. She looked like she was having a relatively alright race. Who's that that's gone off? It's Tricky. He's lost it and completely totaled his car. He's gonna have to come in and pit, it seems. Menos and Nate are continuing to fight. Gonna have to move to get past Tricky. You should really move over and let them pass. There we go. Menos makes it past safely. Next up to get past is Nate. Tricky moves over just as they get to the corkscrew, although not quite. Toaster seems to have lost it at the corkscrew as well there. Another train of cars coming through. They'll be catching up to Tricky very shortly. It's Dolby in P23. P24 is Wing 76. And P25 is Blaze. 25 out of 41, first race in quite a while with the Simufur GT season anyway. Got Blaze there in P24 in the number 37 Ferrari. Balmathorn not far behind him. Tiku's in P26, having a very good race so far. There's Josiah in P7, he seems to have taken Wushel. Then we've got Wushel and Lunatic racing one another in the Porsches then. This will be an interesting one to watch, so we're gonna stay with them. We can see here Lunatic is closing the gap on Wushel. She'll not like that. Look how much that gap closes then. They come through turn, couldn't tell you. I believe they're heading up towards Corkscrew. They are. Lunatic forever getting closer and closer to Wushel. There we go, and oh bless her. Wushel moves over and lets Lunatic through to continue on. So it's Lunatic in P8, Wushel in P9 then. Wushel's now being chased by Jesko in P10 in the BMW 777. And Tai Chi will be in the number 32 Bentley. There we go, we remembered it eventually. I'm wondering if potentially Wushel has got damage, which is why she may have moved over for Lunatic. I'm not really seeing a damaged car there, but never mind. I'm not seeing a damaged car for Lunatic either. But anyway, they move on to chase Josiah in the Mercedes. Then we've got Jesko in the BMW getting closer and closer. Oh dear. And it seems that Dip in the Jaguar has been given a stop-go 30 for speeding in the pit lane. Pit lane not being very kind to these racing drivers tonight, it seems. TQ in P26 still yet to make his mandatory pit stop. There's Deeds in car number 757 in P27 now. Then we've got Tai Chi in P10, having a race of his own, doing very well to hold P10. P11 is Saber Kitsune in the 523 GTR. Again with no one around him. P12 is Dip. Dip making the Jaguar work very hard for him. Bit of damage though, so he's going to have to come into the pits anyway and serve the stop-go penalty. He's followed through by Azure, who will make up the position. Again in a very, very scuffed Mercedes-Benz. I don't know how I've missed half these accidents. Studio McFlew chases Azure Go. Meanwhile, he's got Fez Fox and Pingu behind him as well, who are also having to deal with traffic. So there we go, then Dip comes in to serve his penalty. And Azure Go currently in P12 with Snooty in P13. Seems that Azure is having to take it quite cautiously then, as quite a bit of his car's damaged. I'm not sure how much longer Snooty will be able to chase for at the moment. He's going to have to move over and let Fez Fox through, who's gained a marginal gap on Pingu then. There's about 2 seconds between those two at the moment. There we go, Snooty pulls off to the left, indicates and lets Fez Fox through. Take the tow on him for a bit before then letting Pingu through. But it's allowed Azure to get away. I don't know what's happened there, but Pingu looks like he's dropping back a bit. So here we go then, the two leaders both negotiating their own bit of traffic. We've got Azure on Fez Fox. Looks like Azure has been given the blue flag, so we'll see when he chooses to move over. That's it, they choose to go wide into turn 2, excuse me. Fez Fox gets away then. Pingu's the next one to get through. Azure does get through on the outside. Studio McFluid will now move and try and take Azure for position then. It's a bit troublesome for Azure, but he's holding off Snooty for now. He's also got Newbie Kings and Plasma to deal with. Car number 65 gets a stop-go penalty for speeding in the pit lane again. Oh, these drivers really suffering at Laguna Seca. Meanwhile, you've got this four-way train of battles going on. Plasma looking to get round Newbie Kings. Studio McFluid. Oh, that was a terrible overtake by Newbie Kings. Plasma manages to get round the inside of Azure Goat then, so Plasma's made up 4 positions in a matter of 2 corners. That was very fortunate indeed for Plasma, so he's up to P12 now. Studio McFluid has been given the position back by Newbie King, so he'll hold P14. But it has very much put him off. Put the gap between him and Azure Goat bigger. Well, I'll say that sentence again and put my teeth in. It seems like the gap now between Azure Goat and Snooty has increased because of that little incident. Not far behind the 4 of them is Joker in P16 in the Honda. P25 also is now going to have to move over for Spirit in P17. Point out that Spirit's in his own race in P17 then. Next one off of Spirit is Heiko, who's about 6 seconds down. There we can see Otto moving over for Spirit, so Spirit gets through nice and cleanly. But on the other hand, ZZ is chasing Otto for position, and it looks like he's closing the gap. They're both coming up to Corkscrew. There's Sue in P28, she's trying to chase Jamie for P27. Aiko in P18 then, P17 quite a margin away. And the one he's battling position for is about 6 seconds off him. Quite a few cars we've got pulled over in the pits then. So we've got TQ then slowly making his way out the pit lane. Oh, he does lose it, but steers himself back onto the proper line. Comes out the pit lane and gets up to speed then, but he's still going to move over for Stormy in a bit. But then at that point, Stormy has to look at moving over for Tony in a bit. Was being chased by Dolby in car number 85, the Audi. So there we go then, Tony is looking to make his way through traffic. They go side by side with one another. It's Stormy that's having to bail out, quite rightly so. It wasn't for position. Tony definitely deserved the spot on track. But there we go then, through the Corkscrew, Dolby has a little bit of a wiggle. Stormy nearly holds on to the inside, but it's Dolby that gets the position. Them. A little bit further back, we've got Blaze leading on. Wing leading Blaze on, with Paulette and Balmathor behind. Balmathor is chasing Blaze for position. Wing is currently holding P20. A little bit impatient there from Balmathor. I mean, there was a whole start-finish straight that he could have waited for Paula to pull over on. P32 Ferrite, brand new driver tonight. Didn't make it through qualifying, so he got disqualified, but I'm told that was a misunderstanding between himself and the stewards. Currently holding P32 and chasing Paula for P31, so I mean, he's done a great job tonight regardless. Seems like we've lost 3 cars as well, so only 39 cars left on the track. And yet we've got this train of cars happening, so Josiah, who's taken a bit of damage at the front, is being chased by Lunatic. And we're going to stick with these guys for a bit, because it looks relatively close. You have to remember that the Porsche, like Fez Fox has shown us tonight, the Porsche is very good through the corners. A little bit of a wiggle there, it just means that Lunatic is forever closing the gap. He's got Wushel and Jesko behind him. They come through the corkscrew together. Oh, it's a bit of a line to take, but Lunatic makes it through on the outside. It's now Wushel's turn to overtake. She looks at going for the inside line. She's nearly there, but Josiah manages to pull off a good defence then, holding on to the line. Wushel's going to look for the inside line. She does get it. Oh, there's contact was made there by Josiah and Wushel. It's given Jesko every opportunity to catch the pack. The 2 cars here go side by side with one another through turn 1. They head down to turn 2. Still side by side. It's going to be... Who's it going to... Oh, no! And it's Wushel that loses position over Josiah. Jesko squeezes through. He's not happy with what went on in front of him. And Dipping Sauce can only sit and observe. And it's Lunatic that's lost out as well. What happened to Lunatic? Wushel's managed to get back on the track. Lunatic pulls right into the middle of the track then as other cars go off and get round him. He's got to move and let them through. Sadly, it's meant he's given up position then, but Lunatic is now down to P8. Wushel lost her position. It's left Jesko to chase for P4 then. Josiah currently holds P4. Come through the corkscrew together. There's Dip in the 38 Jaguar P23. You have to admit, out of 39 cars, I would not expect the Jaguar to be up that high. The Jaguar is a very old model car, but he's doing very well to keep up then with Jesko. So they all come through turn 1 then. It's Jesko on Josiah as they come into turn 2. Wushel then very much on her own. She's got damage to that car. And behind her will be Tai Chi, followed by Lunatic, who's being currently chased by Saber then in the GTR. They make it through turn 2 quite cleanly. We've also got Menos in P10 behind them, as well as P1 and 2 chasing for traffic, so these cars are all going to have to move eventually. Saber is just 0.5 seconds off of Lunatic. I wonder if Lunatic's got damage as well or not. Can't really see much visible damage, but he's going to have to try his hardest to keep that GTR off him. Oh, and Saber makes a little bit of a mistake there. Lunatic will be relieved with that as he comes down into the corkscrew. All cars are being blue flagged now, as we can see. Fez Fox is coming through in the Porsche. He is not stopping for anyone. It doesn't matter if they pull over for him or not. He is going to get round them. Got Pingu in P2, who's 1.5 seconds off Fez Fox. Probably not his best race tonight, but 1 race out of 3, and you're still only P2. You've not won it yet. Anything could happen. We've still got 13 minutes of this race left. Menos behind him is in P10, still being chased by Nate in P11, who is also being chased by Plasma in P12. Plasma sticking very close indeed to Nate. Meanwhile, further up the grid, you've got Azure, who's holding on to Studio McFluid and Newbie King still for P13. So these three cars have definitely gotten close together in the last few minutes. Stick with these for a bit. Bad corner there for Azure. Snooty manages to make it through, but Newbie Kings is going to have to be a little bit patient. Relatively clean overtake for Snooty then. They're all making their way slowly but surely up to the corkscrew corners, this little kink that's annoying for most drivers. Newbie Kings goes round the inside then of Azure, and it seems like he's got it. They both come into the corkscrew together, and all three cars make it through relatively cleanly then. It's unfortunate that Azure has in fact lost out. Next car off Azure is Spirit in P16. Got Jamie and Tricky then who have pulled over into the pits. Plasma appears to have taken Nate over, so Plasma will now chase Menos for P10. But not as if Menos has much to worry about though. He's 6 seconds off of Plasma. And about 7 seconds off of Saber in P9, who still chases Lunatic, but he's going to have to move over now because Fezfox is absolutely on a charge then. From Pingu. Pingu's now 5 seconds off Fezfox, so there must have been a mistake there. Sarah's having, oof, not a great race, and unfortunately it's poor Lunatic who's lost out there. Sarah moves over onto the corkscrew then to ease past Lunatic. Poor Lunatic, it has not been a race for him tonight. P12, P13, 14 and 15 are on their way down out of corkscrew. Still doesn't look like Lunatic's taken too much damage, but we'll see what happens. Again, a number of cars have pulled up into the pit lane, and it's Lunatic's going to choose to continue going. He's got Azure P14 just half a second ahead of him. See if Lunatic can make that work for him. They come down into T2 together. Just 9 minutes left of this race. Azure making a little mistake. There, it's allowed Lunatic to very much close the gap to Azure. They're now on their way up to the kink before the corkscrew corner. Lunatic creeping closer and closer to Azure all the time. All the two of them make it up to corkscrew. And they go through nice and cleanly together. Still, that gap does not open to Lunatic for Azure. Azure under a lot of pressure now in the Mercedes-Benz, as Lunatic does everything he can to hold on. Lunatic having a look at the outside line there. So here they come on the start-finish straight. This is where you probably expect Azure to pull away a little bit. Straight line speed of the Porsche isn't too good, but it looks like Lunatic's going to go for the inside line on Azure. They come through turn 1, they come down into turn 2, and Azure defensively holds on to the position. Very good defending from Azure then. He still holds Lunatic off, but can he do it for another 8 minutes? There's definitely pressure here. The back end wiggles for Lunatic, then that gives Azure a little bit of breathing space, but not for long. Meanwhile, in the time that these two have been fighting and scrapping one another, Spirit in P16 has gained 3 seconds at least on both cars, so 7 minutes for Spirit to take either P15 or 14. Newbie Kings of Studio McFluid have gone at this point. They go down through the corkscrew. Azure and Lunatic go through the corkscrew together. Azure still maintains a 0.7 second gap then on Lunatic. If he can get the last few corners right onto the start-finish straight, he can hold on to that gap and increase it, although it looks like Lunatic has just closed the gap a little bit more. Still a few cars that have pulled over into the pit lane. Seems like they've decided to call it a day. Lunatic doing very well to stick to the back of that Mercedes-Benz. And it was nearly an inside look for Lunatic. Let's see what's going on from Lunatic's point of view. So you can see the Porsche definitely corners a bit better. It seems like Lunatic's having to fight that Porsche quite a bit. Makes you wonder if there isn't any underlying damage to the Porsche. We'll watch him go through corkscrew. Wow, look at that, gets a much better line through the corner, and he goes for the inside line over Azure. Azure comes back round on the outside line and loses it as well. These two cars nearly end up side by side racing, but it is Lunatic that gets the position. So well done to Lunatic, he holds on now to P14. There's Spirit there in P16 having a little race of his own. He's got Azure 5 seconds ahead of him. Heiko is 12 seconds behind him. Heiko again in his own little race then. So he's P17 at the moment. And he's got nothing to worry about behind him. P24 is Otto. P25 is Zizi. 26 and 27 are Sil and Dolby. They're going to have to move over though for 18, 19, which is Tony and Joker. And it's Danny that has made his way up to P3 in the Aston Martin V8. We haven't seen Danny all race. Having a very good race indeed with the Aston Martin V8 Vantage. P3 with 4 minutes left to go. I tell you what, you can't ask for a better race than that. Again, no one around him, only the two ahead of him, which is Fez and Pingu, so, you know, whatever happens. Oh, still, she's lost it. She does manage to rejoin the track, but it looked like the car took a bit of a bump there. Hopefully she's okay. She's doing P27 out of 36 at the moment, so that's not bad. The original entry was 42 cars on this list, so if you think about it, still is P27 out of 42. Not bad at all for an AM driver, not bad at all. But Danny is absolutely having a great race to himself. He's got no one behind him chasing him for P3. All he's got ahead of him to worry about is traffic, so all he's got to do effectively is cruise for the last 3 minutes of this race. We're probably soon going to be getting an announcement that the leader is on the final lap. I'm wondering, oh, P4 is there, he's having to fight his way through traffic as well. And at the same time, Valmathor is having to fight his way through traffic. Bushel's there in P5, so she's got Tai Chi 6 seconds off her, and she's got Jesko 1 second behind. There's a car moving very slowly. Who's that? It's Zizi moving extremely slowly then. No, I'm going the wrong way. Wishel looking to get past Ferrite. She has flashed him to let him know that she's there. So blue flag rules dictate they've got to move over. Not liking how all four of these coming into the corkscrew together. Lap cars racing for position. Ferrite loses it, spins off in the Lexus. Wishel catches up to ZZ and he's got to move as well. There's been a yellow flag just after the corkscrew and it's Ferrite that doesn't get out there. Wishel gets past ZZ very safely. Dolby pulls into the pits from P27. Bit late in the race for that. I'm wondering if it's a fuel issue. Meanwhile, we've got ZZ who moves out the way for Fez Fox in P1. Where is P2? P2, so Pingu in P2, 4 seconds off of Fez Fox. Wishel having to move over for Fez Fox. Oh, ZZ loses it coming out the first corner, that's not fun. Wishel pulling a sneak here, she's going to take the toll from Fez Fox as much as she can. Fez Fox currently on the fastest lap of the race, you can see in the corner there. The pink time of a 1:22.3. Taichi racing Wishel there, 2 seconds off, but he's also got to move over for Pingu, who attempts to go side by side with Taichi through the corkscrew. It's a bit of a tricky move to make, but I mean they made it work. So here we go then, it's Fez Fox, comes down to the start-finish straight. Can't believe it's been an hour already, guys, but here's the announcement.
Right, man, leader is on the final lap.
And here we go then with Fez Fox, the leader of the race. We're going to watch him negotiate his way through this traffic. This is it then, 1 hour of Laguna Seca. And it's Fez Fox that has held on to the position for the whole race, even through pit stops. Pingu has just not managed to make it work this time, but as we say for Pingu, that's 1 race out of 3 that is not won. So still, Fez Fox has a lot to do through the season to catch Pingu. Pingu has made up a little bit of time, it's 3 seconds. Fez Fox heads up to the corkscrew with a lot of traffic in front of him. That's not a pleasant thing to see, considering he's got Pingu 3 seconds away. The final few corners are important for Fez. He looks to get through traffic. It's not quite happening for him. There you go, he makes it past Paula. He rounds the final corner. Here he comes to take P1 for Laguna Seca. Jesco gets by. And there we go, it's Fez Fox P1. Pingu will come home to take P2. And it will be Danny that comes home to take P3. Jesco will come home to take P4. Wishel comes in with a solid P5 after that race. A fantastic race for Wishel. P5 is brilliant. There we go, Fez Fox P1, Pingu 2.8 seconds off P2, Danny's P3, Jesco's P4, Wushel's P5, Tai Chi is P6, Saber Kitsune is P7, Plasma works its way from the bottom of the grid all the way back up to P8, Menos will finish in P9, and Josiah will take P10. Here we go with the individual classes then. It's Nate that wins the silver class tonight. Heiko wins P1 for AM class tonight, followed by Blaze for P2 in AM class tonight. Fantastic result considering it's Blaze's first race with us in a long while, so well done Blaze. But tonight it is all about Fez in the number 86 white and blue Porsche 911. Well done to Fez Fox. Well done to Pingu for holding on A well done for Danny for having a very clean race and climbing his way up to P3. And that, everyone, is the end of the race session tonight. Thank you very much for tuning in. Next week we move on to Silverstone for round 4 of the GT3 Championship. Tonight is the last of the tighter, smaller tracks. We move on to the last 3 bigger tracks, and we start with Silverstone next week. Thank you very much to those that have tuned in and watched all the way through from practice to the end of the race. And we'll see you next week for Silverstone. Thank you very much. Take care and bye-bye. Last 3 bigger tracks, and we start with Silverstone next week. Thank you very much to those that have tuned in and watched all the way through from practice to the end of the race. And we'll see you next week for Silverstone. Thank you very much. Take care and bye-bye. Last 3 bigger tracks,